Hey guys, just got this thing in the garage, just got the garage cleaned up enough to tear this thing apart again. Looks like for sure a failure in the passenger rear cylinder. So yank this whole thing out, see what really caused the damage. I think some of you guys have already seen the spark plug, but you know, I'm just glad. It's a bummer that it happened. I don't know if you guys know, but this engine was an engine that was built about 10 years ago or so by Raw Performance, and it's kind of just sitting. We ran it to Utah. Have any problems with it at Utah other than some leaky seals. So I think what we're gonna do now is we ran Pueblo yesterday. It was kind of like a on the cuff kind of run. I didn't anticipate, hadn't really planned on doing it with work and stuff, but I'm glad we did. It sucks that the engine kind of popped, but at the same time too, glad that it happened here and not down in Atlanta or VIR or something. So I'm gonna pull this engine out, see what we got. I've gotten an overwhelming amount of support. I mean, from all across the country. Like P2P Tuning reached out. Of course, my sponsors, the Denver Donut Shop, the ZF Design, Flatiron Tuning, all coming up with ideas for not just the stock, the stock power again, but something to make a little bit more power to keep us going, in TT3. And just in case, it's an option that I want to utilize, but we do have this little butte right here, just hanging out in the corner. I'm not sure how much more abuse this poor little engine can take, but the little 205 with 160-some thousand miles on it is still there if need be. But like I said, it's definitely a bummer. So we'll get this thing apart, and I'll try and maybe overnight some parts from Japan, see what kind of stuff we got going on in here. Maybe this will be the opportunity we need to get a 2.5 in here instead. But it is what it is. It is motorsports. So we'll get this thing tore out, and I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully, maybe sometime tonight, I'll have the motor on the stand, and then the valve covers off, and potentially the head and cam, see what's kind of salvageable. Thinking at best case scenario, we're looking at maybe the cams are good, the connecting rods, and the crankshaft. So other than that, though, I think it's going to be kind of gnarly looking in there. All right, so we got this motor out now, a couple of hours or so. The first kind of couple things we see, and may have already been seen on there already. It's probably hard to tell now without a flashlight, but that little valve is all bent up. The turbo seized. The turbo seized probably because of all the debris that went through the exhaust. So it seized on the exhaust side. You can kind of see where in the scheme. See if we can get a focus on that. Anyway, that's my O2 sensor. Of course, you can't get a focus on it at all. There we go. You can see how some stuff has kind of glided past it and hit it. There's a little dent in it. So that's the kind of the initial. Definitely see the carnage, but yeah, that little thing is seized. So it's definitely because of the stuff that's in there. So, but yeah, hopefully we'll have these heads off here in a little bit and see how bad it is. But I'm gonna say that's pretty bad. If I could find a flashlight in like half a second, I'd just show you how bad it is. But of course I can't, because it's the DSX Motorsports Garage. But yeah, that valve is all trashed up. So alrighty, I'll keep you guys in the know and let you guys know what the progress is. Thanks for joining. Timing is spot on. And of course, there's mostly from the slack and the tension, but yeah, timing's perfect. Okay, we're back. I think I got most of the stuff off. At least it won't be any crazy surprises. Well, maybe just surprises. But as you can see, the camshaft's looking pretty good. So that's a plus, big plus. They do look like ABCS camshafts. Obviously they said they were, but I mean, we can see that for sure now with the timing marks and stuff in the back. Anywho, give me a hit of that energy drink there. Let's keep ripping into this thing. Let's take out the cams in no particular order. So, like I was saying just earlier, the that one's real tight. Probably where the there we go. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the spring pressure. Alright, that's pretty crazy. This thing's like pretty much completely separate. Definitely glued in there all the way. We'll get a little rubber mallet out of this thing here in a second. Cam caps looking good. That's the rear. Get a little mallet here. Should I get out the 8-pound? No, we're not going to get out the 8-pound. Unless that's what you're calling my driving. And that's probably called the 8-pound. That'd probably be accurate. For those that don't know, 8-pound is pretty much the hammer of choice in my profession, which is not working on Subarus per se, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. Note that all the arrows are pointing forward. Should probably pull this beautiful little cam out first, huh? But yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but these things are looking perfect. So I mean, can't complain about that. Even the wear surfaces are looking pretty good. So that's good. We'll just throw it on this sturdy ass table. That'll preserve it. You know, that's how we roll here. And of course, I'm not this cynical when it comes to my engines, but you know, shit happens. That's funny, that arrow's pointing towards the back. Both the exhaust arrows are pointing towards the back. You would think somebody glued these cam seals in because they had problems with them leaking. Wouldn't know anyone who would do that. Alright, get this cute little camshaft out of here. Pop that like this one off. 8-pound to the rescue again. Same thing, that camshaft looked like it was in perfect condition. So that's good, at least for this head. Now the reason I'm doing this head is because this is the one that's got the bad intake valve. Looking down in here, we got some ARP head studs. See if we have the right size or one that's close. Now technically, probably some kind of order you're supposed to do these in. We're just winging it here. One. Oh, it's almost Carnage 30. So these were built with ARP 2000s, it looks like. Not too bad, especially back in 2008 or whatever this was. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through all the trouble on the buckets and shims or anything like that. But let me just double check everything here. So far, we're looking pretty good. Let me give it a wall up or two. Okay, we're free. All right, now I'm going to show this to you guys before I see it. So I want to hear all the oohs and ahs come through the camera here. All right, now I can see the piston. The piston doesn't look good. But do you guys see that? Oh. Oh, yeah. She gone. That looks pretty bad. Let's see if you guys can see this piston at all. She's looking pretty hurt. Definitely a hole in there. I'm willing to bet that rod, I think we can see at least some portion of it. I'm willing to bet that thing's toasted too. So yeah, that's what you get when you ball out of control with your Subaru.